What is up, my fellow astronauts? Let me tell you about the amazing benefits of oysters and why I include it in the Testo diet. If you want to know exactly what the Testo diet layout looks like, the exact foods, the exact quantities, I have a blueprint for you guys. Link is in the description below. Let's dive in. So first of all, oysters are a really good source of nutrients. So here's like good source of protein, taurine, glycogen, so it can help to replenish your liver and muscle glycogen. Nucleotides like AMP, which can help with vasodilation and energy production, adenosine, which helps with vasodilation and relaxation, zinc, copper, calcium, and magnesium. It's also high in other nucleotides like inosine monophosphate, guanosine monophosphate, and adenosine monophosphate, and succinic acid, all of which can help with energy production, DNA repair, and those kind of good stuff. It's an excellent source of vitamins and minerals, for example, vitamin B12, copper, iron, manganese, phosphorus, selenium, and zinc. It also contains a decent amount of B vitamins, but it's really one of the best sources of zinc. And it's also specifically peptides from the protein that can help to improve your health and testosterone. So now let's talk about testosterone, which is obviously the thing we care as astronauts the most about. So oysters, and most of the testosterone studies, when they use oysters, is based on peptides. So what they do is they take the meat and they digest it with, for example, papain or protease into peptides. And some of these studies isolate various peptides and then see how effective it boosts testosterone. So in this study, they used 3 different peptides from the oyster. And so this peptide was the most effective in increasing serum levels of testosterone, you can see, in dose-dependent manner. And then also nitric oxide synthase, helping with blood flow, erections, all of the good stuff. And here you can see that testicular testosterone increased the same with a peptide, and nitric oxide as well. Better blood flow to the testes means better oxygen, better nutrient delivery for testosterone production. Here was another study where they gave animals, they had them do heavy exercise, and they had them also consume oyster peptide. So this was not specific peptides, it was just like oyster peptide, like all of the peptides in general. And so this was the normal control, and this was the normal control without exercise, but with oyster peptides. So oyster peptides did increase testosterone. The heavy exercise reduced testosterone. The heavy exercise with oyster peptide increased or normalized testosterone. So when you're overtraining, oysters can be really good at preventing that drop in testosterone. Free testosterone as well. LH went up, FSH also went up, so it prevents the detrimental effects from heavy exercise. Also, testicular testosterone was normalized or increased, testicular androgen receptor was increased, and androgen binding protein was increased by oyster. So oyster is like really good for increasing testosterone. It also upregulated steroidogenic enzymes like STAR, P450 CSS, which converts cholesterol into pregnenolone, was increased. 3-beta HSD. All of these steroidogenic enzymes was massively upregulated by oyster peptides. And the greatest of all is that it's really good at reducing oxidative stress. When you're training hard, it creates a bunch of free radicals that can start to damage the testes and lower testosterone. So normal control, heavy exercise with oyster peptides. So superoxide dismutase is an antioxidant defense enzyme that breaks down superoxide, which is a free radical. And so the oyster peptide dramatically upregulated this enzyme to reduce superoxide levels. MDA is a marker of lipid peroxidation from the free radicals, and this was massively reduced by the oyster peptides. And so glutathione peroxidase, the enzyme that helps with neutralization of free radicals, was also increased by oyster peptides. So it's great for reducing free radicals and oxidative stress and inflammation in the body and preventing that drop in testosterone. So oysters are really potent anti-inflammatory. So as a side note, the cytochrome P450 enzymes in steroid-producing cells create an extraordinary high level of ROS, reactive oxygen species, which can inhibit steroid hormone synthesis at the level of cholesterol transfer. So this is really important because just the process of producing testosterone also produces free radicals. So this is why having antioxidants in the body is crucial for maximizing testosterone. Otherwise, the process of creating testosterone creates free radicals, which then downregulates testosterone production. So I'm not saying like go supplement herbs and vitamin C and vitamin E, Rather eat foods like oyster peptides that contains these compounds like zinc and selenium and peptides that will bring down reactive oxygen species that will upregulate testosterone production. Also, oysters have been shown to inhibit COX and lower prostaglandin E2, which is an inflammatory lipid, and inducible nitric oxide synthase. So INOS produces massive amounts of nitric oxide, and nitric oxide is a free radical. So you do not want too much nitric oxide in the body, and oyster lower all of these things. Oyster beta-thymosin reduces inflammatory cytokines such as tumor necrosis factor alpha, interleukin 1 beta, and interleukin 6. So it helps to bring down inflammatory cytokines. Oyster consumption promotes the expression of NERV2 protein and then increases the expression of antioxidant enzymes, regulatory proteins like heme oxygenase and a quinone enzyme, that all of which help to reduce oxidative stress. So the point is, oysters are great for reducing oxidative stress and inflammation, which will help to jack up your testosterone production. So here are a few benefits of different parts of the oyster: shell, the mantle, the gill, or just the whole tissue. So let me read it to you. It has antioxidant, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, antihypertensive, anticoagulant, anti-cancer, anti-fatigue, reproduction promoting, osteogenic, and zinc binding, and anti-wrinkle benefits. And these are just a few. There are really a lot of benefits to consuming oysters. Oyster can help with alcohol detoxification. Here you can see ethanol, the alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme, aldehyde dehydrogenase enzyme that breaks down aldehydes, and catalase, which breaks down hydrogen peroxide. So you got the ethanol, which is the red column. You got the ethanol with oyster broth concentrate, which is the blue column. Then you got ethanol with taurine group, and then you got the ethanol with oyster hydrolysate, which is kind of like whey hydrolysate. It's like the concentrated protein source of the oyster meat. And the hydrolysate was the best at reducing ethanol levels, upregulating alcohol dehydrogenase, downregulating the levels of aldehydes, upregulating the enzyme that eliminates aldehydes, and upregulating catalase. So oysters are really good. So the more concentrated it is, the better it will help to reduce alcohol and the toxic effects of alcohol on the body, protect the liver, protect the body against all kinds of toxins, really. Other benefits has been shown to improve gut health. So it recovered the disorder of gut microbiota induced by phthalates, which is plastic. It reduced the proportions of Bacteroides, increases the abundance of other bacteria, and just restores the microbiome to a healthy level when they were exposed to phthalates. And a lot of people are exposed to phthalates, and so oysters can help to improve gut health. It improves brain health. So it contains dianol, a choline precursor that allows the brain to optimize the production of acetylcholine, which is the primary neurotransmitter involved in learning and memory. Oysters also contains numerous neuropeptide genes that can help to optimize neurological function in the brain. It enhances exercise performance and recovery. It reduces lactate and BUN. During exercise, it enhances liver and muscle glycogen, so you can train harder and recover faster and better. So oysters are totally a good food for maximizing testosterone, reducing inflammation in the body, enhancing exercise recovery and performance, just making you feel really good and optimizing health, providing a bunch of beneficial nutrients for the body. Some people might be concerned about the heavy metals in oysters, but the amounts are too small to really be a concern. And also, oysters contain minerals and enzymes necessary for detoxification. They are meant to detoxify, so when you eat an oyster, you fill your body with glutathione, zinc, selenium, and nutrients necessary for detoxification. So the small amounts of heavy metals that you might be consuming for oysters will be offset by enhanced detoxification of those minerals. So I personally think that oysters are a fantastic food for all andronauts to have on a consistent basis. If you have oysters on a consistent basis, have tasted your testosterone, please let me know in the comments if it increased your testosterone or not, and how you feel in general when you consume a bunch of oysters. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, learned something new, and I will check you in the next one. Cheers guys.